Welcome back. And wow, just like that, the festive season has come to an end. Maybe not the festivities, but they should. While the holidays might have brought a lot of joy, celebration, hopefully connection for you, January can often bring a financial hangover, a lot of stress with December salaries paid early in most cases, festive overspending. Many South Africans find themselves struggling to make ends meet in the first month of the year, and that adds additional pressure to February. While financial planner extraordinaire and author and good friend of the show, Sylvia Walker, is here to share some practical tips on how to manage our money and survive the rest of January without sinking into debt. And I'm going to use that word with extra emphasis. Sylvia, all the best. Great to see you. I know this is quite a stressful time of the year for you because you get it. You've seen this cycle play itself out so many times. What is it about January that makes it so pressurized? Is it the fact that we get paid early in December, lack of forethought? What are those pressure points?
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason is obviously the early pay in December, and we kind of misjudge how long it's going to take till the next paycheck comes in. I think, you know, part of the problem though too is there's a lot of expectations around the festive season.
For sure.
So whether or not you get a 13th check, you're going to be festive. You're going to buy the gifts, you're going to do the entertaining.
Reward yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a tough year. So we fall into that trap. And of course, let's not also forget that we're bombarded with marketing messages all the time. Images on TV, images in the media. This is the perfect
that are now
festive
tailored
season
for us as well.
Yes. And I think too that a lot of people are on leave over that time. So even if you don't go away, you're not going to sit at home. You're going to go out, you're going to spend money. So all of that is kind of a perfect storm. That means most of us tend to overspend over the festive season.
So whether that's taking out from what's already there or often going into what's not there and then paying it off as debt.
Yes.
Where do we start? What are the practical steps and the focus areas now moving into January?
I think, you know, the thing is that if money is tight in this month at the moment, which it is for many people, there are a couple of things one can do. A friend of mine always used to talk about her cupboards are echoing. So I would say, eat what you've got in the fridge. You know, she would say, I've got to go shopping. My cupboards are echoing. And what do? We always go grocery shopping, even though there's stuff in the deep freeze, there's stuff in the pantry. Eat what you have. Stay away from the shops. Cut out those expenses. Perishables, for instance, buy them in, and buy and then store them, save them, freeze them and buy in bulk. Because we all know you go to the shop for 2 items and you come out with 3 bags.
For sure.
You can also look at maybe using loyalty points if you haven't used them. So I'm a great believer. I save them up. I always say, you know what, I'm keep them for a rainy day.
For sure,
and maybe January is the rainy day. You've also got probably a lot of time because you're sitting at home. You can't afford to go out. So use that time to declutter. Go through your home, see what you don't need, see what you haven't used for the last 6 months, and see if you can sell anything.
For sure.
So use that time productively during January.
And my wife has become a genius at that. I always think of the movie 40-Year-Old Version where, reselling something that's already being sold online, but there is something in that. There is so much value that's sitting around you that you might not have recognized. Biggest pitfall, I think, for most of us, and it's not to say that credit is always a bad thing. There are ways that lending can be done in a very responsible way. But at this time of the year, how do you feel about credit and managing credit? And maybe we can take a long-term view on that. Over the year, how should we be using our credit?
So I think firstly, a lot of people have done the festive season on credit. So you're sitting with this sort of albatross, hanging over your head. Secondly, we are bombarded with the sales in January. We know everything is on sale. So, and that's often linked to store cards. So it's very easy to go and buy because I can put it on my card. If you need it, if you were planning to buy something and you were waiting for the sales, all good and well. But don't go and buy clothes and all kinds of stuff just because it's a bargain. So that's the first thing about getting into debt. And then I'm not going to wax lyrical about debt. We know debt is a bad thing.
For sure.
So keep it to a minimum. Somebody once said to me that we only recover by sort of the Easter weekend. We incur debt over the festive season and then we come right by the Easter weekend. And if that is your pattern, then make sure then by the Easter weekend, you've sorted it. It's done, it's paid, and you then don't incur further debt.
You want to talk about rewarding yourself. The feelings I'm getting after the post-COVID recovery of debt, the feeling of having seen something that's been hanging over you, that albatross, no longer there. Oh, that's a feeling that's
Yeah.
just irreplaceable. So chase that feeling. All of this speaks to having a clear mind and a plan when it comes to our finance. So we take the self-judgment and the emotion of January out of the equation now. Let's look forward. What does budgeting look like? What's an effective way to approach it?
So I think really, if you're talking about budgeting during this tough time, January, any tough time, break it down into little bite-sized pieces.
Step by step.
Yeah, little pieces, even if it's a weekly budget or even if it's a daily budget if you have to, but break it down into bite-sized chunks and track your spending. There's no excuse today. We have our apps, we get notifications every time we spend money. There's no excuse. Track your spending. It's as simple as it is.
I love that. Just very quickly, because we're on that trend today, one thing that you want to focus on just for yourself for this year, and it doesn't have to be financial, but I think so many of us have the opportunity to look at things through a new lens. What are you wanting out of your 2025?
I have one lens. I want to travel more.
Oh, I love
traveling. And I must say, a tip that I will give to people is to have a holiday fund.
Yes.
So you always say, like, wow, how do they afford that? Or how do they afford that? You put away money every month. And I do that. I've been doing it for years. So if I could travel all the time, I would. But, we've got to pay the bills at the end of the day as well.
Completely, yeah. But just do it preemptively, not post the travel, so you can save yourself the money. I love that. I look forward to the photos of you in Cairo next to the Great Pyramids or wherever you're going to end up. At some sage words there. Absolutely brilliant. I'm going to say, just from my perspective, take the self-judgment out of the equation. December's done. January is almost done now. Look forward and have a clear plan.